Okay, this is on how to get other material into our smart notebook so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. The biggest thing most teachers already have is PowerPoint presentations they've built over the years, and if you want to interact with those more easily than you could with PowerPoint, you can just convert those over to smart notebooks, and this is on how to do any digital media over. So I've got a PowerPoint presentation on how to figure out the perimeter of an object that I want to be able to interact better with using Smart Notebook. All I have to do that is I've got my PowerPoint open. I'm going to go File, and I'm going to say Print, and I'm going to choose the printer of Smart Notebook Print Capture, and then I'm going to say Print. And what it's going to do, it's going to open up Smart Notebook and send each one of those into a separate slide in Smart Notebook. So now when I look at that, there's my that's not my first one, I didn't click on it. Here we go, here's my entry slide. Now, I will show you, and you can see that it doesn't center it up perfect. It always leaves some room at the top, and I don't like that. I want to be able to have it look pretty much like it was before. I will tell you that animations don't carry over. So if you had really cool animations with things flying in and stuff, you're not going to get that. You're just going to get a picture of what the slide looked like. Now, I'm going to show you something that I do whenever I export my stuff over to Smart Notebook, and it's to make it so it's easier for me later on. First thing I'm going to do is finish converting this before I teach with it. And I'm going to do that by sliding the slide up into my screen, full screen, and then locking it in place. And you can lock it by either going down to where it says lock and lock, or I can just click on the slide, I move it up, and I hit Control K, locks it. Now when it's locked, I can't move it. And you can see I can't move it. And there's a reason I do that. If I'm using this, and I'm going to go ahead and save it, just like I would. So I'm going to save this as File, Save As. I'm going to save it as a new lesson called Perimeter, which I already did when I initially tried to make this recording. So if I'm going to interact with this and I start teaching my class and I'm telling my kids that the perimeter is the distance around an object, and I talk about this and I draw on it first block while I'm talking to my kids, and then I want to clear that off, I just hit Control L to wipe it away. If I'm on a slide that I didn't lock, if I hit Control L, it wipes everything away, and I use Control L a lot to back up. So I always go through, the first thing I do on when I convert stuff over is I go and slide it up and hit Control K, and I just go through the whole presentation, doing that really quickly. And you can see it doesn't take very long. This is a relatively short 8-slide one. I'm going to go all the way through it. I get all the way through it, I've done the whole thing, and then I save it. And I save it so that if I teach off this, I know that if I open it up again, it's going to be right back the way it was when I set it all up. So I'm in here first block, I'm going through my lesson, and I'm teaching kids how to, I'm going to pick red so it's a better color, teaching kids that the perimeter is adding up all the sides. It's the distance all the way around any object. And as I go through here, I'm going to say, you know, this side was 2, so this side is 2. Since it's a rectangle, this side is 5, so this side is 5. So you can see I added 2 plus 2, these two sides, and then I added 5 plus 5, these two sides, and I got a total perimeter of 14. And if I want to, I can just hit Control L and everything I wrote goes away. So that's why I like locking. That's the first thing I do, is I lock stuff down. Now when I'm done with this, if I wanted to keep those notes and I wanted to remember where I was, I hit Z to undo, so I just undid clearing it. Maybe at the end of the block I save this and I go File, Save As, and I add 01 for orange 1 at the end of the block, so I know, hey, that's where I got to with orange 1. So that's just a little nice how-to. Okay, so I've got this one from PowerPoint. Again, all I had to do is, with my PowerPoint, I go File, Print, I choose the Smart Notebook, I hit Print, and it makes a whole new Smart Notebook for me. Now I'm going to close this down because I don't like having one open while I do it again, because I'm going to show you a different kind of document. This document is straight off of Mr. Alexander's calculus class. He's got all the stuff saved as PDFs. So if he wanted to teach right off of these PDFs, he could write on the whiteboard and project it, but he could also just turn it into a Smart Notebook file. And the way you do that, again, is to just say, I'm going to print it. So I'm going to go down here in the PDF and click print. And I need to do a couple things before I say print. Number one, I got to pick the printer again. So I'm going to go to Smart Notebook Print Capture. I'm going to tell it that this is landscape. Our screen is landscape. So we want to pick landscape, and I'm going to make sure I check to fit to the page. I don't want actual size. I want it to fit on that Smart Notebook. So I pick the printer, I choose fit, and I choose landscape, and I say print. And now, again, it's going to open up Smart Notebook. It's going to make a brand new Smart Notebook with all those problems that Mr. Alexander already had set up. Again, I might want to slide up and do the Control K thing through my presentation real fast just to make sure things are centered the way I want them to. I'm just going to the next slide. Slide it up, hit Control K, locks it. And now I might, or I would, save that as whatever this is, off of his class. He's got his section 2.5. I might go File, Save As 2.5, so that I know what it is when I go to open it up next time. So now if you're teaching off this, and I'm using my digital whiteboard, and I go through and I want to show my kids how to do a specific problem, or I'm going through using my colors to walk through my steps and say how, he's talking about absolute values here, and how whatever his main points are, that this and this are the same, and I go to my next thing and I teach how to do, I'm going to be able to export that. I'm going to be able to save that because I'm using a digital whiteboard. I can record it just like I'm recording this one while doing it on my digital whiteboard in my classroom. And I can, when I'm done, I've got Smart Recorder running right now to record this. I can just stop it, save it, throw it on YouTube, throw it on my blended learning site as a lesson for my kids. So that's how I export any digital content I already have into Smart Notebook in order to use it to teach in my class or to make a blended learning lesson, to flip my classroom, whatever I'm going to do with it. As long as I've already got a digital right now, I can turn it into a notebook lesson quite easily.